Good morning, students. So, you all are ready for the class, and we are going to cover today present simple tense and compare it with present continuous tense. So, these are the two things that we would be doing today. And you have to understand one thing, that when you are narrating something, whenever you're narrating something, these tenses are going to be very important, because these tenses are the ones which will actually keep your story or your narration in a particular track. Now, whatever you do, whether you are narrating a story, whether you are writing an essay, you're writing a passage, you're writing a letter, everywhere tenses play a very, very important role. So, we have covered yesterday the present simple tense. Now, sometimes we tend to call that simple present tense, but I would strongly recommend that from now on we will call it present simple tense, because all other present tenses we use by telling the or using the word present in the front. For example, present continuous tense, present perfect tense, and then present simple tense. Okay, so this is one type of nomenclature that we are going to use, while the other way is equally good, but for our convenience it's better that we use present simple tense, so that we have in the back of our minds that this is a present tense that we are talking about. So, if you are ready, very quickly let me know what are the 5 rules of present simple tense. 5 rules of present simple tense. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Write it down on the chat box and send it. Type it and send it across so that I can check if you remember the 5 conditions where we or how you use the present simple tense. Do not write single one conditions at a time. Type down all the 5 conditions. You need to know how to answer a question as well. When I'm asking you, write down the 5 conditions, you cannot just simply type one condition and sit across. You write all the 5. You cannot say 1 is this and then after 5 minutes you type 2. It's not like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All 5 conditions together, then hit the enter button. All 5 conditions together. I hope my instructions are very, very clear. I'm still getting answers in bits and pieces. Take some time, type all the 5 answers or 5 conditions, and then send across. That is what I'm expecting from you all. Alright, the chat box has slowed down, which suggests that you are typing in the answers. Good enough. So type in the answers and then hit the enter button. Unless the 5 conditions are typed in, do not hit enter. Take some time, think and type. I find that you people are not ready. Are you ready? I wanted 5 conditions. I have still not got it. Now you will remember the 5 conditions only if you have seen my video yesterday. Alright, I've got an answer. Habits, general truths, exclamatory sentences, vivid narrations as substitute of past or express future, part of the fixed timetable. Okay. Universal truth, habit, vivid narrative, future tense, use the simple present, 5 to use here and there, and 6 not given. Alright, without wasting any further time, I will give a recap to you. So if you remember very clearly that we talked about tenses, and these tenses, let me just check if my slide is visible. I will reduce my frame so that the visibility of the slides increase. Just give me a second. Yeah. So I think now you will be able to see the slides clearly. Now let's check what is happening. The first one is the meaning of tenses itself. If you remember clearly, we told yesterday that the tense has come from the word tempus in Latin, which means time, or tense in Old French, which also means time. Now the rules of the simple present tense. Now look at the first slide. Look at the first slide and check out the first rule. As you can see over there, the first rule is to express a habitual action, something that is a habit. We will elaborate on that today. We will go a bit deeper and understand how it is used. So first one is, of course, the habit. The second one is to express general truths like the sun rises in the east, honey is sweet. The third one is exclamatory sentences beginning with here and there. The fourth one was in vivid narrative as substitute of simple past. And the fifth one was to express a future event that is a part of fixed timetable. That was a part of fixed timetable. So now after reading out the 5 conditions, can you just tell me now what are the 5 conditions? Again, I will just hide the slide for a moment and ask you, what are the 5 conditions? Let me know. Unless you remember these things, it will be difficult for everyone to understand present simple tense. I'm checking my mobile. That's the first one was a habit. The second was universal truth. Third one, exclamatory sentences starting with here and there. Fourth, explaining the past. See, do not equate both the things. The past is the condition number 4, and 5 is the condition which is a future event which is most likely to happen, which is a part of fixed timetable. So first is a habit. The second is a general truth. Third in is, what I said, exclamatory sentences starting with here and there. Fourth is replace of a past event which is being narrated as if it is happening in front of your eyes. Like Sohrab comes forward and gives a heavy blow to Rustam. So this is the fourth one. And the fifth one is, of course, the replacement of a future event which is already a part of the fixed timetable. जब timetable fixed है, वो बन चुका है, उसके बारे में जो बोल रहे हैं, these are the 5 conditions. Apart from that, I gave you 2 more conditions. Now what are these 2 more conditions? The first condition that I gave you was used as to introduce a quotation. Keats says a thing of beauty is a joy forever. Keats says, so Keats is not telling it right now. Keats is a poet of the distant past, So Keats is telling it, means Keats says, so it's not being told right now, it is being told in the past, but it is used with the simple present tense because it is going to tell about a quotation. So whenever it's a quotation, Keats says or Shakespeare says, like this, you can put it within inverted commas. Shakespeare says what's in a name. So that is how you put things in quotation. The next one was, it is used instead of simple future tense in clauses of time and condition. If it rains, we shall get wet. So if it rains, it's a condition that's going to happen in the future, then we shall get wet. So when we say if it rains, we shall get wet, it's a substitute of a simple future tense. And in broadcast commentaries that you watch on television or radio, this is what happens, that as soon as the event is completed, the narration happens just after that. So MS Dhoni steps out and hits the ball for a 6. So MS Dhoni steps out and hits the ball for a 6. This itself is a narration or a commentary. All right, so we have covered all these things till yesterday. So the first 15 minutes of the class, we have just covered whatever we have learned yesterday. Now, today we are going to go a bit further. Now, in present simple tense, you have to understand one thing. There has to be a subject and a verb, like any other sentence that we normally construct. So, a present simple tense has a subject, which is a noun, like, or a pronoun. For example, I, you, we, they, he, she, it, Muskan, Manish, Rohit, anyone, right? So, whenever you're using a name, it's a noun or a pronoun, it's a subject, and then it is going to have a verb. The verb is drink, wake, sleep, what else? Anything, any verb you can think. So whatever is a verb, drink, wake, walk, run, think, talk, all these are verbs. So a subject and it has a verb. So in the present simple tense, when I say, I drink tea every morning, I drink tea every morning, what type of present tense is it? Of course, it is a present simple tense because it is showing or telling about a habit. I wake up at 5 a.m. Again, a habit. So when it says I wake up at 5 a.m., it does not mean that I woke up today or I'm going to wake up tomorrow. It's a habit that I always follow. So whenever it's a habit, it's a present simple tense. You know that very well. All right. So if it is clear till this part, I'll just give a pause. You can ask questions if you want and let me know. Clear, right? It's easy. Tenses can be very, very easy or it can be very difficult. It depends on how well you are listening. If you are listening it well, it's good enough. If you're not listening properly, you will make a lot of mistakes. So present simple tense, this is just a tense, the beginning of the tenses that we have started with. It's the first chapter or the first part of the tenses. You start it from here every day and follow it every day. You watch it every day and you watch it over and over. Just once during the live session is not enough. Whenever you get time, try to watch these sessions. It's going to help you. All right. So now we come to the next part. We will be looking at a timeline. Now understand this timeline that is displayed over here. You can see it, right? The timeline says, you can see the end portion, the bottom of the slide. It's the past, the present, and the future. Now here it is now. So what's happening right now is the present tense. So present tense is things happening at the moment. And this is the past tense and this is the future tense. So let's see a timeline like habits and routine. So when we're talking about habits and routine, you normally do not use the present continuous tense. Now what is present continuous tense? An action that is happening continuously and it is temporary. We will cover present continuous tense a bit later on today itself, but as of now understand that whenever we are using the verb in a continuous form, we use the word or suffix ing. So any word which we are using in continuous form, we use the suffix ing. Means what? उस verb के साथ ing add होगा तो वो continuous form बनेगा. I am drinking tea every morning. Is this a correct sentence? You can see it has been marked wrong. Why? Because it's a habit. So whenever it's a habit, you do not denote it or you do not tell it with a present continuous tense. So you never tell I am drinking tea every morning. If you're telling that, again, it's a wrong thing. Rajan is visiting his parents on weekends. Again, Rajan is visiting his parents on weekends is a habit. He is doing it on every weekend. So you cannot use visiting. So what are the things that we are supposed to use in that case? I am drinking tea every morning can be replaced with I drink tea every morning. I drink tea every morning, present simple tense, as it's a habit. I am drinking tea every morning, wrong. Rajan is visiting his parents on weekends. It's again a wrong sentence which we can safely replace with a present continuous tense which says Rajan visits his parents on weekends. So Rajan visits. So visiting the continuous form visits the present simple form. So Rajan visits his parents on weekends. All right. So I guess now you have understood one thing very clearly, that whenever you are using something or whenever you are describing something that is a habit, you do not use the continuous form of the verb. कभी भी आप जब habit denote कर रहे हो, continuous form of the verb is not used. We will see if we can break the rules. The rules are there to be broken. It's said we will come to the end of the topic and then we will discuss how these rules can be broken and bended. But as of now, understand one thing, that whenever it's a habit, you simply cannot bend and break it. Right? So let's come to the next one. Now, habits and routine, when we are talking about, we denote them in three different ways. For example, we use words like every. Every is a word that is used to denote the habit or explain that or make you understand that this is a habit. For example, every morning, every afternoon, every day, every week, every month, every year, every summer, every winter. So when we say like that, it doesn't have to be every day. It can be every year as well. So when we use the word every, we talk about a habit. I meet my mom every Tuesday. I meet my mom every Tuesday. Present simple tense. Or Ram goes for a trip every summer. Ram goes for a trip every summer. So these are the usage of the words every. तो कभी भी हम लोग every use करेंगे, it is talking about a habit, and every basically means that it is happening regularly. Not daily, but it can happen regularly. There's a difference between daily and regularly. Daily मतलब जो हर रोज हो रहा है. Regularly मतलब जो एक इंटरवल में हमेशा होता है. साल में एक बार, 2 साल में एक बार, even 5 साल में भी एक बार अगर हो रहा है, that can also be used as every. For example, the government frames a plan every 5 years, and it's called a 5-year plan. So that is again, every 5 years a plan is made, so it's a habit or a routine, right? Now we can use the second one, that is prepositions. Prepositions like on and in. We have already learned what prepositions are in parts of speech, and when we use on or in, it can actually mean that we are talking about a present simple tense. For example, on Sundays, on weekends, in the summer, or in winter. So these are the usage. On weekends, on Sundays, in the summer, in winter. So these are prepositions which help you to frame a sentence in present simple tense. So Kunal goes cycling on Saturdays. So Kunal goes cycling. Now you would be wondering, there is the ing form of the verb. The ing form of the verb is here, but it is denoted as a habit, and hence it is a present simple tense. Kunal goes cycling on Saturdays. So is it happening right now? No. So it is not a present continuous tense. Kunal goes cycling basically means he will go again for cycling maybe on next Saturday, but he's not doing it right now. So there is a clear-cut difference whether you're talking about a thing that is happening right now in front of your eyes, where we use present continuous tense, or you're talking about a habit where we use present simple tense. So I hope you are not confused, right? जब वो चीज़ अभी आंखों का सामने में हो रहा है, present continuous tense, आंखों के सामने में होना ज़रूरी नहीं है, एक रूटीन के तहत पे होता है वो, एक रूटीन से चलता है वो. So that is the present simple tense. All right. Now let me just take a pause again to make to understand whether you got it clear. The difference between where to use ing and still keep it a present simple tense. So ing used and still a present simple tense only and only when it is being talked about like a habit. Habit के बारे में जब बात चल रहा है, then only it's happening. Otherwise, no. Clear? Any question? If you have a question, you can raise it right now. And those who have joined and watched, those who are watching it right now in front of, you have not subscribed my channel, you have just came in and trying to see what's happening, you can subscribe my channel to keep a track of the future classes as well. In year one time, Ganeshji comes at home. Is that a correct sentence? Now, I am talking about sentence that has been framed by Vinod Dange. Let me just tell you, we are all trying to learn English. This is not our first language, and what we are trying to do over here is get a grip on the language itself. So it's very normal that we will make mistakes and we will learn from the mistakes. So this is a closed room and we are discussing things and trying to learn. No one is sitting over here who already knows everything. Neither it's not me as well. Though I am taking the class, even I do not know everything about English. So now I am talking about a sentence. In year one time, Ganeshji comes home. Now if this is a right sentence, you can write it's a correct sentence. If it's a wrong sentence, you can tell this is a wrong sentence and make the correction. Let me just check how many of you give the answer for this. So Vinod Dage's sentence, if you see, he has typed in and I read it out. In year one time, Ganeshji comes at home. In year one time, Ganeshji comes at home. So tell if this is a right sentence or a wrong sentence. Alright, Kshitij Vaidya says it's a wrong sentence. Now Kshitij, can you correct the sentence and write it? Sandeep, just don't write I have a problem. If you have a problem, you can just note down what the problem is and send the whole message. Alright, let me just check. Most of you are telling it wrong, but you are not making a correction. You have to make the correction, you know. Wrong sentence understood. It's a wrong sentence. Ganeshji comes home once a year. Okay. Ganeshji comes home once a year. Now, if you remember, I told you of a simple trick. Use every. Use the word every and then construct the sentence. Use the word every and then construct the sentence. Let me see how you do it. Ganeshji comes our home. Again, Nitin Kapse, it's a wrong sentence. Ganeshji comes our home is again a wrong sentence. Every year Ganeshji come at home one time. No. It's again a wrong sentence. The framing of the sentence is not happening. I'm not convinced. Can we keep it like, let me just check. Ganeshji comes at our homes every year. Okay, fine. Ganeshji comes home once a year. That's also fine. But I'm using the word every. Every year Ganeshji comes at our homes. At our home. So you're writing at our homes. Okay, fine. What else can we write? Every year Ganeshji comes home. Or every year Ganeshji comes to our homes. Every year Ganeshji comes to our homes. So you understand over here, when you're using the word every, it becomes a habit. Now we have dealt with every, prepositions like on and in, and then we can use once a year or twice a month sentences like that. Ganeshji comes at our homes every year. Yogita Rathi has written, and that's the right sentence. Madhura Majumdar, every year Ganeshji comes at our homes. That's fine enough. So you are writing right sentences right now. All the framing of the sentences are absolutely correct. Naresh Wadhwani, every year Ganeshji comes at our homes. Good enough. Full marks. Alright, now the next one. Once a year or twice a month, etc. is also used to denote it's a habit. We visit the doctor twice a year for checkup. We visit the doctor twice a year for checkup. So it's a habit. It's not happening daily. It's happening only twice a year. All right, in 1 year, 2 times. So it's a 6 monthly visit. So, but because it's a 6 monthly visit and it is not missed, it is called, the next part comes into play where we say once a year, twice a month, thrice a week. All these sentences or the phrases we can use to denote it's a habit. So I guess now habits or routine, you now have a clear understanding of the fact that every on and in and then once in a year, twice a year, all these things are used. Let's go to the next slide. Now these are the frequency adverbs. Now what do you mean by frequency adverbs? We have already dealt with adverbs earlier. Adverb is a word or a sentence or a phrase which actually describes the verb. So, come, always come, usually. So all these words that I'm going to use right now, I will tell you how exactly or what exactly it means. Now, whenever we are using the word always, I'll make this font a bit bigger for you so that you can see it clearly. Alright, this is good enough. And bold I'll make it. So first one is always. It means 100% times. 100% times. For example, Govind always walks to work. Govind always walks to work. So that means every time he is walking to work. He is not a single time going by any other vehicle or cycle or scooter. Anything he is not using. He is always walking to work. So Govind always walks to work is a habit and happening 100% of times. So that is how we tell it, always. Then the next one is usually. So usually means 90% of times. So 90% of times Govind usually walks to work. So it means once in a while he may travel in some other vehicle. So usually is 90%. Generally 80%. 20% of the times he is doing something else. Govind generally walks to work. Govind generally walks to work. So that is generally, which means 80%. Often or often. So both the words are spelt right. Often. So Govind often walks to work. It means 70% of the time he is walking to work, but other 30% he is not. Sometimes, which means 40 to 50%. Sometimes, Govind sometimes walks to work. So sometimes he walks, other times he is not. So 40 to 50% times he is walking to work. Occasionally, 20 to 30% of the times he is walking to work. 70% times he is not, or 80% times he is not. So Govind occasionally walks to work. So it means what? That he is not doing it all the time. He is doing it once in a while. Now, seldom, 10% of times. Only 10% times he is going to walking. So Govind seldom walks to work. Means 90% of times he is not going to walk to the work. 10% times he is doing it. Govind rarely walks to work. Rarely, 5%. Or I rarely watch movies. So I normally do not watch movies. Or I rarely watch television. So when you say something like that, it means 5% times you are doing it, 95% times, 5% times, yeah, absolutely, 5% times you are doing it, 95% of times you are not doing it. Hardly ever again, 1% time, right? Or even before that you can use very rarely, which is 2 to 3%. I very rarely watch movies, means 2 to 3% times. Hardly ever, 1%. I hardly ever watch movies. Govind hardly walks to work. Govind hardly walks to work. He never does. Almost 99% times he will not do it. Maybe 1% of time he will do it. And never means 0%. Govind never walks to work. He will never do it. Come what may, Govind will not walk to work. So when you tell these frequency adverbs, you can build up simple, present simple tense sentences. Now take a look at the slides and ask me if you have any problem at all. All right. Now today, have you just observed that I am using English more frequently than Hindi? Now let me just ask you this. The English that I'm using right now is not completely Indian in pronunciation, in accent. I am putting up an accent. Now let me just ask you this, that do you get my accent very clearly? The way I am pronouncing things, is it clear, or you are getting a little bit confused about what am I telling? Because I am using a little bit westernized accent, not fully, but a little bit westernized. So let me just ask you this, if you're following it well or not. Now, which sounds better? The Indian English that I have been using it till this class, till yesterday, I have been using Indian English, and today I am trying to speak in a little bit westernized accent so that you can listen to this westernized accent and pick it up. Which accent sounds better? For example, if I am speaking in Indian English, this English is sounding better to you, or when I'm speaking in this type of English, it sounds better. Which accent is more clearer to you? The Indian accent or the westernized accent? Okay, Nitesh Khiralkar is telling, I do not understand. I am Pratik Khiralkar, okay? Western English. Most of the people are writing down Western English. You know, that is very simple. You would be right. You would prefer the Western English mainly because English is spoken in that way. English is spoken in that way. It's not that using Indian English is bad. I do respect Indian English equally well, and it hardly matters which type of English you are using. But the way of the society is such that if you use a little bit Western accent when pronouncing the English words, people tend to listen to you and understand that you are a little bit better in English than others. That is the convention, you know. It hardly makes a difference according to me, because whether I am speaking in Indian English or I'm speaking in a Western English, it doesn't make a difference as long as I'm able to communicate my thoughts to you. Alright, so most of the people are telling it's Western English, and let me just tell you, I will be gradually shifting to more and more Western to make you understand my pronunciation clearly. So there will be a time when I will be using the accent which is more typical to Western accent. But as of now, because we have got a mix of students who just may miss out the facts listening to my accent, I will try to mix it up. Alright? Alright, Shreya Padal is telling English is a great language which has different types also. Yes, of course. The British English is very different from the American English, and Indians, we know the Indians are called, we have a very good quality called mirroring. Mirroring is a quality where we can pick up any accent very nicely. For example, have you heard the Spanish people speaking English? When the Spanish people speak English, you will feel like, almost like there's a small kid who is speaking it. So I have heard a lot of Spanish people when I was dealing with American people in Wipro. And that time, the Spanish people used to speak like this. Excuse me, my computer is not working. Can you please help me out with my computer? So when they say like that, it sounds like so cute. It's a wonderful thing, but that is again a different accent. So different countries have different accent of English. We will discuss about that in some other class, but right now let's focus back to our topic for the day. So just take a look at these frequency adverbs and you just pronounce once with me and understand that these are the ones which you can use in your day-to-day life for building up sentences which are simple present tense or present simple tense. So always 100%, usually 90%, generally 80%, often 70%, sometimes 40 to 50%, occasionally 20 to 30%, seldom 10%, rarely 5%, very rarely 2 to 3%, hardly ever 1%, never 0%. Now you can see all these things I have color coded from green to red, and the shift is from how much you do it to you do it never. Alright, so that is a shift. So always to never, this journey will help you to frame sentences which are habits. Alright, now this is crystal clear, right? Maths is a lifetime subject in our life. Of course, maths is a lifetime subject, provided you want to take up maths in higher studies. There are a lot many students who do not take up maths for higher studies, and they are happy about it, right? Now, I miss a joke? A lot of people laughing. I just want to check by scrolling up if there is something that I missed. I don't think so. All right, good enough. Do let me know if I have missed a joke. I would like to laugh as well, because laughing keeps your brain healthy and your heart healthy. Now let's come to the next slide. Permanent situations. Permanent situations are, my mother lives in Kolkata. Now when we are talking about present simple tense, along with the habits and general truths, add to it one more condition. So this is going beyond what we have learnt yesterday. Permanent situations. My mother lives in Kolkata. Now this is a permanent situation. It does not mean that she is staying there for some time and will go back somewhere else. Now if I use the same sentence using present continuous tense, my mother is living in Kolkata, my mother is living in Kolkata, and my mother lives in Kolkata, what is the difference? A very simple difference is, when I say my mother is living in Kolkata, means it's for a temporary phase of time, and she is not normally from Kolkata, or she does not normally stay in Kolkata. She is staying there for some time, which is going to change soon. But when I say my mother lives in Kolkata, it's a permanent situation where she is staying all the time, and we use that in not in continuous form. My mother lives in Kolkata is a permanent situation. My mother is living in Kolkata is a temporary situation. Now come to the next sentence. For example, I'll just mark it red. I am working as a teacher. I am working as a teacher. So this is again a temporary phase that I'm talking about, because I'm not normally a teacher, but I'm working as a teacher right now. But when I say I work as a teacher, it is signifying that it is more permanent in nature. I work as a teacher means it's a permanent job that I am doing, and I am a teacher. So when it says that I work as a teacher, it is a permanent thing, and I am working as a teacher means it's temporary. I will do something else in the days to come. So that is a very clear indication that whenever you're using the continuous form of the verb, it denotes a temporary state which is more likely to get over, or it has started some time back and it's like to get over very clearly, very soon. All right, I find here a discussion about maths has started, which is not acceptable. We can have a few maths classes later on, and let's now focus on English. Neeraj Firke. Now understand, if you're from our school, this is something that is not acceptable. You cannot just type in whatever you want over here, and basically we will go back to the recordings and check what you have typed, and if it's something unwanted that you're typing in over here, you are more likely to face a consequence, because this is as good as a classroom. You cannot just simply fool around over here that I'm playing this fire and that fire. So this is something that I'm very clearly telling you. And do not run away after hearing this. Stay in the class itself and participate in a proper way. So fooling around is absolutely not allowed in this class. I'm just checking your messages. Nisha Kumat. Again, Nisha Kumat, I do not know who you are, but please do not do it. All right. Let me just check. All right. A lot of messages being retracted. That's good. So again, I'm telling and reminding everyone, fooling around is not acceptable over here. And let me just tell you, do not be under the impression that when you are online, you can chat and type and send anything that you want. You cannot interact with each other about some game when the class is going on. If you want to do it, find a different chat room, not over here, right? And let me just tell you, if you're a student of our school, you can be really tracked. You can be tracked. There are options over here which we can use to track what type of messages you have sent and from which computer. So online is a very, very important thing that you have to understand. You cannot just type whatever you want. There are certain rules and regulations, certain decorum to be followed in online classes. So I'm again reminding, please do not do it. You are not only diverting yourself, but you are diverting other students, which I will not accept under any circumstance. So if I'm sounding a little bit harsh, I cannot help it, because to maintain an online class, I have to be harsh at times. I just simply cannot allow any person to come in over here and type and send whatever he wants, right? So is that acceptable? If you accept, I will move forward, and if you think that you are having a gala time chatting over here, I'll stop the class and move out of it. I'm waiting for your answers. So others who are there as participants, you need to take care of it as well. I cannot keep an eye always on the chat window, but if there are people who are doing it, you tell them to stop it, or let me know. I'll stop my class. All right, now let's move forward. So I've talked about permanent situations, and now general truths that are never going to change. Now, what is the difference between a permanent situation and a general truth that is never going to change? Yeah, Neeraj Firke, do not be sad, but do not do it again. Do not talk about games in my class. And Aryan Bombay, again, do not communicate with Tanishq. Pay attention over here. All right. So let's come to the next slide. As I was talking about this, the general truths and permanent. Just hold on a minute. Able to hear me? This is a big problem that is happening in Malkapur. I do not understand what to do with this. Are you able to hear me? Let me just check. Am I audible? Just hold on a minute. All right, I hope it's clear now. I hope it's clear now. I'm able to come back to my stream. Now, there was a question that I asked before this. What is the difference between a general truth and a permanent situation? Now, let me just ask you this. Sun rises in the east. Sun rises in the east is a permanent situation or a general truth? Sun rises in the east is a permanent situation or a general truth? sun rises in the east is a permanent situation or a general truth? I asked the question, sun rises in the east is a permanent situation or a general truth? What is the answer? What is the answer for permanent situation or a general truth? Which one would you accept? Let's come to the next point. Sun rises in the east, honey is sweet. This is not something that is related to you and me. Let's compare. My mother lives in Kolkata. Now, this is something that may change. It may change, right? Today, she lives in Kolkata and she might decide that I'll not stay in Kolkata anymore. I will shift to Malkapur. So when she decides that, that is going to change, right? I am working as a teacher. So that was temporary, but when I say I work as a teacher, it's a more permanent thing, but it can change as well, right? It can change. Tomorrow I may not be a teacher anymore. I decide to do a business. So when I decide like that, it can change. The situation can change. But when we talk about general truth, sun rises in the east. Sun rises in the east. Now, can the sun all of a sudden decide, I'm not going to rise in the east tomorrow, I'm going to rise in the west? So if that happens, then it's a big problem. And then the general truth will not hold true. So sun will never decide that I'm going to rise in the west tomorrow. It is always going to happen. Honey is sweet. Now, can honey all of a sudden decide, no, I'm bored of being sweet, I'm going to be bitter from tomorrow? Okay? So that is again not going to happen. No chance of that. So when the chance is absolutely zero and it's a universal fact, then only we talk about it's a general truth. But if it is a condition which is more permanent but it is not like it can never change, then we are talking about a permanent situation. So this is the basic two differences between general truth and permanent situation. Now I'll go a bit fast today. We'll end at 1:05, right? Sorry, 12:05 to 12:10 we will end there. General truths are never going to change. Now we have to talk about states with static verbs. Now states with static verb, you have to understand these. I want a cup of tea. We cannot say I am wanting a cup of tea. Now whatever is a static verb, we have already dealt with static and dynamic verb. Static verb is something where the work is actually not happening. Dynamic verb is something where the work is happening. So काम जहाँ पर चल रहा है, सही में काम चल रहा है, वो dynamic है. काम नहीं चल रहा है, but it's a verb. So that is static. We had static verbs like, thinking or think, understand. All these things are called static verbs. So we'll see more about static verbs. But you understand one thing, whenever you're using a state or a state of verb, that means you cannot use the progressive or continuous tense. I want a cup of tea. I want. Want is not an action that is happening. It is not having a start and an end. I just want it right now. So we cannot say I am wanting a cup of tea. We will say I want a cup of tea. So activity and a state, it's very important. Dynamic and static verb. Activity means dynamic and a state means static. जब एक condition का बारे में बताया जा रहा है, that is static. Alright. Now we do not use the static verb or state verb in ing form. For example, Lata loves to sing. Lata is loving to sing? No way. So whenever we are using a dynamic verb, we can use the progressive tense, but when we are using a state verb, we cannot use the ing form of it. So love is again a static verb. Now just to understand this, State of verbs, we have divided into certain categories. For example, the first one you can see, wants. And I would strongly advise you memorize these state verbs by heart, so that you do not make mistakes. So you write down the state verbs on a piece of paper or a notebook and keep revising those so that you do not make mistakes. So wants and likes, like, dislike, love, hate, want, wish, these are all wants and likes. Then thoughts and opinions, like a mental state, think, believe, remember, know, imagine, these are all thoughts and opinions. Senses, see, hear, smell, touch, feel, all these things are senses and are state verbs. Appearance, it seems, so seem, look, appear, resemble, sound. You sound loud, so that is what we call about appearance. So sound is again a sense, but it comes under appearance as well. Possession, I have, or have, own, possess, belong. So you never say that I am having a car. I am having a car is wrong English, right? So whenever it's a state verb, you have to use it in non-progressive form. So have, own, possess, belong. Other state verbs like cost, depend, contain, lack, owe, measure. Now if you try to understand state verbs more, go back to my video on verbs and you will be able to get a proper hold or grip on the things. But this was a quick revision of what state verbs are. So very quickly divided into wants and likes, thoughts and opinions, senses, appearance, possession, and other state verbs. Come to the next slide. Present continuous tense has got three situations. Present continuous tense has got three situations. Now check these. She is singing. The boys are playing cricket. For actions going on at that time of speaking. So there comes the difference between present simple tense and present continuous tense. Present simple tense is a habit. It may not actually be happening in front of your eyes, but present continuous tense is something that is going on at that moment. So she is singing. The spelling is wrong over here, I'll correct it. So she is singing. The boys are playing cricket. The boys are playing cricket. It's happening in front of my eyes, and which is going to stop after some time. So that is the difference between present simple and present continuous. So first condition, for actions going on at that time of speaking. Number two, for temporary actions which may not be actually happening at that time of speaking. So I'll make this red as well. So for temporary actions which may not be actually happening at that time of speaking. For example, I am reading How to Win Friends and Influence People. So that is a famous book by Dale Carnegie. And when I say I'm reading How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, it does not mean I'm reading it right now in front of your eyes. It's just that the action is going on. Maybe I'll go back and home and read it again, or maybe I'll read it tomorrow again and day after till I finish the book. But it is not necessary that it's happening right now in front of your eyes. So temporary actions which may not be happening in front of your eyes can also be a present continuous tense. So actions happening in front of your eyes, actions not happening in front of your eyes but can happen after some time, can be also present continuous. And third one is for an action that has already been arranged to take place in future. So something that is going to happen in future. For example, I am going to the cinema tonight. So I am going to the cinema tonight, continuous form of present tense, but denoting a future which is already decided, right? So remember, in present tense also we had a replacement of the future, and in continuous tense also we have a replacement of the future. I am going to the cinema tonight. My mother is arriving tomorrow. So my mother is arriving tomorrow is again a simple present continuous tense. So you understand these three conditions for actions going on at that point in time in front of your eyes. Number two, for temporary actions which may not actually be happening at the time of speaking, but it's an ongoing process, like I am reading a book. Third, it is a part of the future plan that has already been decided. For example, my mother is arriving tomorrow, right? So these are the conditions of present continuous tense. Now when we compare the present with the simple, compare with present simple tense with present continuous tense, it's a simple thing. Present simple is a habit. Look at the red part. Present simple is a habit, but present continuous may be an obstinate habit, sometimes which persists in spite of advice or warning. जब हम लोग simple habit के बारे में बता रहे हैं, तब we talk about present simple tense. When we are talking about a normal habit, we are talking about a present simple tense. But when we talk about a habit, which persists despite warnings, despite advices, and still it is not changing, we can use the progressive form of the habit as well. Present simple tense habit we are using, but in present continuous tense we can also use a habit when it's a very obstinate habit, जिद्दी है वो और वो change नहीं कर रहा है despite warning and advice. For example, Raj is very naughty. He is always running out of the house. So see, running out of the house. So this one I am using in progressive tense or continuous tense, and we are telling about a habit that Raj is always running out of the house, which is a habit for him, but this habit is not changing despite several warnings. Despite several warnings, this is not changing. Now, the part that you all are waiting for. I will be talking about one sentence at a time, which I will enlarge, and you're going to tell me it's right or wrong. I'm going to convert into red. So do not look at the second sentence. I am having a brother who lives in Tatanagar. If it's a correct sentence, write it's correct. If it's a wrong sentence, correct and write the right form. I am having a brother who lives in Tatanagar. Solve it. And those people who have joined in late and you're watching my channel right now, you can just hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to stay notified. So let me just ask you again the first question rather. I am having a brother who lives in Tatanagar. Is that a right sentence or a wrong one? Is that a right sentence or a wrong one? If it's a wrong sentence, correct it. If it's a right sentence, write it's correct. I'm having a brother who lives in Tatanagar. Alright, those who have written correct, that's okay. But if you have written wrong, please write down the correct form of the sentence as well. Alright, Kshitij Vaidya. He has come up with the answer. The right answer is, it's a wrong sentence. Because, I'm talking about a general truth. A general truth, right? So I have a brother who stays in Tatanagar. So I have to say, I have a brother who lives in Tatanagar. I have a brother who lives in Tatanagar. That is the first sentence. Now let's convert that into normal and highlight the second one. Sunita works as a nurse. Sunita works as a nurse in a hospital. So write down, it's right or wrong. You just write the question number and then write the answer. Question number and then write. Sunita works as a nurse in a hospital. So if you have to tell right, so click write down or type over there 2 correct. And if you're telling wrong, 2 and write the corrected form. Very quick, be fast. You have to process English real quick in your brains. To be effective public speakers, you cannot be grammatically wrong with tenses, at least the tenses. Shivani Taidates says 2 is correct, and all the people who have written 2 is correct, I will be giving the full marks to them. So 2 is a correct sentence and it's a present simple tense, right? So that's done. Number 3 is, again you have to write the answer by putting the question number first. I am always waking up at 6 a.m. I am always waking up at 6 a.m. Is that right or is it wrong? Number 3. So those who have written 2 as right, you have got full marks for that. Number 3. I am always waking up at 6 a.m. So answer number 3, write down 3 and then type in your answers. Okay, Divya Thalraja has come up with the first answer. It says 3 is wrong because I always wake up at 6 a.m. Right, Divya? This is a habit. This is a habit which is happening at a regular interval or regularly. So we have to say this is a present simple tense and we cannot say waking up. So present simple tense should not have the continuous form of the verb. So we cannot say I'm always waking up at 6 a.m. We have to say I always wake up at 6 a.m. Number four. Come to the number 4 sentence. I am not understanding what you are explaining. Now, I really do not want that sentence from you. If you're not understanding what I'm explaining, hard luck for me. But now let me just ask you this. Number 4, is it right or is it wrong? If it's a wrong sentence, correct it. Number 4. So all those who have written number 3 as wrong sentence, you are right. Number 4. Number 4 is wrong, as told by Chinmay. And some people are writing it's right. Now you're making a basic mistake again. Understand is a static verb. It's a static verb. The understand is not actually some work happening, right? So it's a static verb. So when we are using a static verb, the general rule is you do not use the ing form. I will tell you in the next video when exactly you can use a static verb in ing form. But as of now, just remember, you cannot use a static verb in ing form. So I do not understand what you are explaining will be the more correct one. Now number 5. Come to number 5. Number 5 is Loveleen eats out twice a week. Loveleen eats out twice a week. Is that a right sentence or a wrong one? Loveleen eats out twice a week is a correct sentence or a wrong one? If it's correct, write 5, correct. If it's wrong, write 5 and correct the sentence. So those who have written 4 was wrong sentence, you are right, because understand is a static verb and you cannot use it in the continuous form. Number 5. Number 5, Shivani Tide is telling it's a correct sentence. So is Divya and Prashant Sato and Shritish Vaidya and Umesh Tab is telling it's wrong. A lot of people are telling it's correct. Few people telling it wrong, and I'll go with the majority. You are right if you're telling that it's a correct sentence, because again, it's a habit. It's a habit. Loveleen eats out twice a week. So we do not say Loveleen is eating out twice a week, because it's a habit. Twice a week is a regular habit. So we have to use it in the form of eats instead of eating. So Loveleen eats out twice a week, present simple tense. Good enough. 6th one. Let's check the 6th one out. The word gigantic is meaning very big. The word gigantic is meaning very big. What about this? 6th sentence. Is it the right one or wrong one? Let me know. The word gigantic is meaning very big. Is it a right sentence or a wrong one? Alright, if it's a wrong sentence, write down number 6 is wrong and type in the right answer. I'm going to end in just after 3 sentences are told. So those who are getting restless, you can leave the room. For others, I will be completing the 9 sentences that we have planned today. For learning, sparing a little bit of time is important. So now I'll give the answer very quickly. The word gigantic is meaning very wrong, is a wrong sentence because it's a universal truth. The word gigantic means very big. So you have to tell it very clearly that the word gigantic means very big. So when you tell meaning very big, you are trying to denote an universal truth in a continuous tense, which is not to be done. As I told you earlier, universal truths cannot be denoted in continuous form. So the word gigantic means very big. So that's done. Number 6 is over. Now number 7. Number 7 is my mother is living in Kolkata. My mother is living in Kolkata. Right sentence or wrong? My mother is living in Kolkata is a right sentence or a wrong sentence. You have to tell me that. So answer number 7, write down the answers. 7th, some people are writing it's right. My mother is living in Kolkata. 7 correct. 7 is correct. Everyone is writing 7th is correct. 7th is Is it correct? Chinmay Chaudhary is telling it's wrong. Okay, Chinmay, write the right form then. Alright, Shriti has given the answer. My mother lives in Kolkata. Remember, permanent situation. Permanent situation cannot be in continuous form. So it's a permanent situation. As I said, my mother lives in Kolkata. My mother lives in Kolkata because it's a permanent situation. When I say my mother is living in Kolkata, it's not a present simple tense. It goes into a temporary phase, which is a present continuous tense. Next, and the second last one rather. Look at the sentence. Look at the sentence and give the right answer. Do you think it rains outside? Do you think it rains outside? What is the answer? 8 is right or wrong? Do you think it rains outside? Is it right sentence or wrong sentence? Anita Kachcha is telling 8 is right. Do you think it rains outside? Some people are writing it's correct. Correct. Those who are writing it's wrong, write the right form as well. And if you're writing correct, then you don't need to write the right form, of course, because you feel it's right. Let me just check. Do you think, Nilufar has given the right answer. Do you think it's raining outside? Do you think it's raining outside? It's a temporary thing. It's not a habit. It's not a universal truth. It's not a present representation of a past event, not a present representation of the future event, not a quotation, not a commentary. So it is not a present simple tense. So if it's not a habit, not a general truth, not a permanent situation, if it's not a representation of the future, representation of the past, not a quotation, not a commentary, it's not a simple tense. So do you think it is raining outside will be the right sentence. So I hope it's clear with everyone. Next and the last question, the most difficult one. If you can solve this right, you have got a hang of the present simple tense. Can you maintain silence? Students read. So it's told in a library by the librarian to someone who's making noise. Can you maintain silence? Students read. Is it a present simple tense or is the sentence correct? You have to write that. So let me know what it is. 9. Kshitij Vaidya is telling it's correct. Nitish Bharamba says wrong. I will not accept wrong unless and until you write down the right sentence. Waiting for your answers. Do you think it's raining outside was the right answer? But right now we are on the 9th one. Alright, Nilofar has given the right answer as well for the 9th one. So without delaying any further, let me just tell you, can you maintain silence? Students are reading. Students are reading mainly because it will come to an end after some time. So can you maintain silence? Students are reading so these are the answers very quickly. I'm not going to look at the 10th one, but can you maintain silence? Students read. Students are reading, or students, we will not tell where, we're telling students are reading. It's not a present simple tense. Now, we have covered today the present simple tense and compared it with present continuous tense. We have understood that using the state verbs, which are conditions or situations, we simply cannot use the progressive form of that. And we can use present simple tense only for habits, general truths, permanent situations, a vivid narrative of the past, something about the future that has been decided, quotations, and of course commentaries. But whatever is a temporary situation, it's always and always a present continuous tense, mainly because it's happening in front of your eyes, which is likely to stop. And present continuous tense may also mean that a job that is happening right now but not necessarily happening in front of your eyes. For example, I am reading a book does not mean I'm reading it right now. It means I can read back when I'm back at home as well. So present simple tense, pretty simple, right? So that's the reason it's called simple. So I guess you people have now become super strong in your present simple and present continuous tense. If you have any doubts, do not forget to write it in the comment section of my video so that I can give you the answer over there. Even after the live classes are over, you can of course type it in and write the right answer exactly in the comment section, and I will be definitely helping you out with your queries. So let me know, do let me know if you liked the class today. I have not used much of Hindi because I thought that you need to now get a hang of English. So I will be shifting to Hindi periodically when I feel that the concept needs to be driven in a little bit better and in an easy way. We are Indians after all, and Hindi is our language. It's my disability that I cannot speak Marathi, but I'm going to learn it very soon. Now, if you have any problems, leave it in the comment section. If you like the class today, do not forget to hit the like button. And those who have not subscribed the channel yet, please do subscribe by clicking right bottom of my video, and you're going to be notified about my future classes. So I'm waiting for your opinions about today's class. Do share your opinion, hit the like button, and then we're all set to go. And do not forget to let me know if you want me to continue in complete English just like I did today, or you want me to shift in Hindi to Hindi time and again. Somehow the chats are drying up. I do not understand. I see a lot of people inside the class, but I do not find they're putting in the messages. And I hope that these classes, the English of our teachers and students will improve. Whatever I have learned over the years, I'm trying to share that with you. So make sure that you learn it properly. As long as you are interested, I will be interested. And if you lose your interest, I will be doing my own work, right? So that is what it is. So what we're going to go tomorrow's session is going to be a very simple thing. We are going to cover beyond the present simple and present continuous. In fact, would you like me to take a storytelling session tomorrow, or you are going to learn about a grammar? Now what we can do is we can cover diverse topics from now on. If you are learning about grammar every day, it can turn a little bit boring. So what I'm thinking is can we do grammar twice or thrice a week, and 2 to 3 days some other topic? Maybe public speaking, maybe storytelling, maybe a topic in science which is of general interest, not related to a particular class, maybe some discussion about career counseling. So all these things, which one would you like to have? You would like to have grammar classes and public speaking all through, or a mix of the topics? In that case, tomorrow, storytelling or grammar. Share your opinion before you leave. Alright, I'm getting a lot of messages, but somehow this chat box of mine is not showing it. So all those who have typed in the message, Madhura Majumdar is telling, nice class, it should be in complete English. I also believe the same, but I was actually using Hindi so that some other students or housewives, they are following my channel as well, they can learn it as well. So I will be trying to complete, trying to cover everything in English from now on, but at times, a little bit of Hindi is permissible, right? So people are telling storytelling. So we will be doing storytelling tomorrow. We will be covering storytelling tomorrow and we'll finish it up. So we started with storytelling. We didn't cover it up entirely, but tomorrow we are going to do it. Kanchan after telling mix up topics every day, new topic. That's fine enough. We will not do grammar every day. Maybe once or twice a week, grammar is good enough. Other days, no grammar. So you get enough time to learn the things. And if you do like the channel, please make a point to share it with as many friends that you can. You must have seen my advertisements are coming. The advertisements are coming on my channel right now. This is called AdSense approval. So this is the first channel of Malkapur which has got the AdSense approval. No other channel of YouTube ever before in Malkapur got the AdSense approval. And you can see on my videos now, ads have started to appear. This itself is almost an appreciation, or you can say a status symbol that our channel is doing extremely well. Our channel is doing extremely well. So please share it with your friends and spread this channel. I am targeting now 5,000 subscribers. So if you everyone over here, at least promote this channel and make 10 people to subscribe my channel. It will be a great thing. And let me just tell you, if you subscribe, if you make more than 10 people subscribe, we will be giving a special recognition to you in this particular platform. On my YouTube channel, the people who will let me know that you have made more people subscribe my channel who are outside the school maybe or inside the school, does not matter. Anything above 10, you make them subscribe and hit the bell icon and let me know the names whom you have made to subscribe, because the messages do come to me, the people who have subscribed. So anyone is doing a brilliant job will be recognized in this platform, on this platform. And the topper will be given an award. The topper award is, if anyone is subscribing, more number of people, let's say 50 or even 100, you will be given an award of recognition in this YouTube channel. So something that I will do, it will be a surprise for you. So toppers will be awarded. So make at least 10 people subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon, and they will also learn along with you. So have a great day, and I would like to end in my signature style, that is au revoir, goodbye till we meet again. Bye bye.